Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of AI Talks Live.
Hey, my name's Ivana and I'm
Exit Salvi.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith.
I'm Amy.
I'm Prasad from California.
大家好，我是卢克的马内龙。
I'm Arafat Yassir from Australia.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Marsman from the United States.
Hi, I'm Ivana Tilca from India.
Hi,
I'm Matthew Renton from the USA.
I'm Joe Spizak from California.
Hi, Mehdi Eddie Daoud, from Ghana.
Hi, I'm Ana Famana.
Merhaba, ben Türkiye'den Daron Yönden.
Hi there.
Hi.
So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for everyone who's watching live right now. Thanks for joining us. And today we invited all the way from Argentina, Ivana. Hi, Ivana.
Hi, Sammy.
How are
I'm
you
so
doing?
excited. So I saw Seth Juarez here. I saw Bruno Capuano here. So I feel pretty honored to be here.
Well, there's many more people coming in the future. So we're also happy to have you here today. Just introduce yourself, Ivana. Who are you? What do you do in daily life, job?
Okay, well, I'm Ivana Tilca. I am a Microsoft MVP for Artificial Intelligence, a newbie. I've been honored with the award on February, and I also work as a quality manager in 3XM Group. So mainly my day is working with people, not only coding. I actually code for fun. So, and I don't know what else to tell you about me. I have 2 dogs. I love to drink mate, which is a drink that we drink in Argentina, and nothing, just having fun. So something important to say. I started playing around, even though I'm an artificial intelligence MVP, I'm playing around a lot with mixed reality. So I said, what a better experience than to put those 2 worlds together. And
Exactly.
I'm here.
And that's what we're going to talk about today,
Yeah.
To bring those 2 different worlds, but actually they're combined a lot together, because I don't think there would be mixed reality without AI. Still need to do a lot of algorithms that are behind the scenes, of course.
Yeah.
Ivana, well, with this, I'm going to give you the platform so everyone can learn more about how to combine mixed reality with AI.
Great, Sammy. Okay, guys, so it's only you and me right now. So as I was explaining, I am playing around a lot with mixed reality, which means that I'm learning a lot in the process. Probably there are a couple of MVPs from mixed reality that have a lot of much more experience than me, but that's the key, I think, to start learning and start touching around all the things. I do not own a Hololens tool. That's something important to say. I only have an Azure Kinect, which is the camera I am streaming right now. And let's start. Let's try to understand what we are going to see today. So 1 second. There. So this is our agenda for today. For those who have no experience with Unity or mixed reality, the content we will cover today is not introductory, but I will explain the basics so you can understand how easy it is to apply AI to your cross-platform mixed reality apps. I will start showing how different companies today are working with mixed reality. One of them is Packard. There is another example about implementing mixed reality in universities. And the one that you are seeing on the screen is actually a POC that we built in the company I work for, which is 3XM Group, where we are starting developing a couple of things with the MRTK and different cognitive services, and also machine learning and a lot of stuff. So, as I said, I will start with a demo that will use MRTK, which is the package that manages all this cool stuff about mixed reality, and also cognitive services, starting from speech service recognition, translation, and also I will try to add a custom natural language understanding known as LUIS. And I also added something extra to this presentation that I didn't do before, because today in a couple of hours. I'm also giving a presentation with Bruno Capuano, one of my friends who is also an MVP on AI. And we created something that we wanted to make like something to, let's say, we wanted to create a custom vision model running on a Docker and being able to use that cognitive services into our mixed reality applications. How he was working on the HoloLens 2 application because he has HoloLens 2. And since I had an Azure Kinect, I was trying to figure out how to use MRTK with Azure Kinect. So I will try to show you a couple of things, lessons learned from there. But if you want to check out the full session, you can join us later today. Okay, so this is one of the examples I was telling you. We have Packard in here, which is a manufacturing company, and they used HoloLens 2 to reduce overall training time by as much as 85%. And they got to save millions of dollars in the process. So they managed to train their employees with mixed reality. As you can see on the video, it's pretty interactive, and this interactive area reduces the training time. Then we also have in the education area, we have Case Western Reserve University. Okay, so they used mixed reality to teach anatomy classes to improve students' learning. So using HoloLens in a controlled environment, they were able to increase also knowledge retention by 150%. This is pretty cool. So then we have the other company, which is Airbus. So the company has partnered with Microsoft to use Azure Mixed Reality and HoloLens 2 as a way to accelerate the design and manufacture of aircraft while increasing safety and functionality and ensuring professional development opportunities for employees. So this is one of the best demos I saw about applying mixed reality to a company. Okay, great. And then I wanted to show you a short video of the POC that we built. This was the first video we created for the POC for the company. As you can see, we managed to create the Argentina map and to grab at that moment. So sadly, those numbers increased during the time that this video was recorded, but it brought the different infected, recovered numbers of people from COVID-19 in different cities of our country. Okay, great. So that video and this one that you're seeing on the screen are not being recorded in a HoloLens 2 device. And that's one of the benefits of MRTK. You can export the application to different platforms. And one of the platforms that I use a lot, as you can see, is iOS. So I own an iPhone and I export my projects to test on my iOS device. Of course, there are a lot of exceptions that you get why it's not that 100% the applications for HoloLens 2 can be ported to iOS or Android, but at least the most of the functionality can be exported, okay? I think if you test and try, you can try to manage everything from the iOS and from the other platforms. Okay, so let's talk. I wanted to explain this. This is a slide that I don't want to take away from my sessions because it's important to understand the different tools that you have or different frameworks to develop. Because when you install things, it's important to take in consideration which one are the releases that you're going to be working on. So these are some of the different developer tools and developer frameworks that you have. Over the last 6 months, Epic has released Unreal 4 to 5. So it brings MRTK and Azure Spatial Anchors and a preview of OpenXR. And Unity also has released the 2019 version. This is the one that I'm using today, which brings the support for our foundation, new XR plugin systems, and also works with Preview 2.4 MRTK, which is the kit we are going to use today. So Also, we are going to be using, as I said, the Mixed Reality Toolkit 2.4. Stereo Kit also provides us with a package that helps us build applications, not only for HoloLens, but also for virtual reality applications, and a bit of C#, of course. Then we have, in web, Microsoft announced the launch of Firefox Reality with Babylon WebXR support for HoloLens 2. So this is something that I still didn't test it, but if any of you guys want to test it and contact me to check how your test goes, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's start thinking about the environment. So as I mentioned, we will work with the Mixed Reality Toolkit version 2.4.0. If you are going to develop for universal Windows platform, basically Windows Mixed Reality, HoloLens 1 or HoloLens 2, then you need to install the Windows SDK. I will be working today with Unity 2019. In this opportunity, I'm going to change. I'm not going to be using Visual Studio 2019. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. That is something that I also changed from the other session, because I'm going to start debugging and try to show you how to debug your Unity project with your code behind. And of course, it's optional to install the emulator for mobile devices, or also the available HoloLens 2 emulator. So the Mixed Reality team wanted to create a cross-platform solution with performance that ensures that every time you run your project, you get the same level of performance you need from each one of the solutions. This is what I was explaining before, sorry. Okay, so what does this mean? So when we are developing for Unity, we will be talking about packages, okay? So the toolkit is divided in different packages, but you can download each one of them separately. It includes the foundation package that comes with the main components necessary to create the mixed reality application. So basically, your application, if you're building for HoloLens 2, needs to have the foundation package installed. Then we have optional packages, like the extensions that includes additional services that extend the functionality of the kit, such as physical support or smooth scenes transitions, among others. And we also have the tools package that includes useful tools that enhance the developer experience. And then we have the example package that brings demonstration projects that illustrate the characteristic of the kit. This is quite heavy, but if you're learning, it's important that you can download this, because you can see the code and how each one of the components on the Unity UI is on the Unity scene. It's developed. Okay, so in case you are developing for mobile devices, you should incorporate the R Foundation package as well as the R Core or R Kit package, depending on the platforms that you are using. Okay, much information, I know, but I will try to explain you a little bit from the UI in a moment. Of course, my favorite topic, AI. So we have a lot of cognitive services. Microsoft provides them to help developers build intelligent apps. So this group of services include more than 2,000 APIs that offer human capability to see, hear, and talk, among others. So today we are going to get deeper in the speech area of the cognitive services, but as I mentioned before, we are going to see a little bit of the vision area. Something important to say about that before let's move back from Sheldon in there. Something important to say about that is that right now, if you want to import the package for the cognitive services to work in Unity, the only one that is available is the speech package. Now, with Bruno, we managed to incorporate the vision cognitive services without using a package. So I will try to get just to show you at the top of the iceberg today, but which means that it's not impossible to include the others, okay? And yes, this is what happened today no, actually it was like 2 weeks ago with Bruno. So we said, okay, Azure Cognitive Services, but what about computer vision? And the funny thing is that we wanted to create 2 applications that could detect the flags of the country we are living in. So he's Argentinian, but he's living in Canada. And he had a Canada flag on his wall. And as you can see, I have an Argentinian flag here. But there's one small issue that the computer vision does not detect this flag. So with Bruno, we had to train a model. We put it in Docker, and that's how we started develop our MRTK application. So as I said, this one today, Global XR, if you want to learn in deeply what that's all about. So demo time. Okay, guys. So this is one of the easiest demos that you will find today about speech being used with the MRTK. So what do we have here? This is, as you can see, this is Unity. And in here we have, let me go here. So we have this Universal Windows Platform application, okay? So in this case, if you are porting to HoloLens, you can port it to HoloLens. So, but right now I'm going to leave it in any device. And the other thing that you need to do in order to have this installed, like to develop what I'm showing right now, what I will be showing right now, is import the packages that I was mentioning. So let me go here. So as I mentioned, the Foundation 240 is the one that we are going to be using today. And the one that we do need in order to create a mixed reality application is the Foundation 240 package. Then we have the optionals. As you can see, I have the example, the extension, the tools in here. I'm not going to be using any of them except the foundation, of course. So I already imported it. And as you can see, it's in here. So this is the MRTK foundation package. Once you install the package, this is going to be enabled to you. So the option Mixed Reality Toolkit on the menu will appear. And then you can add a scene and configure, which means that you're going to, the MRTK comes with all the scene configuration already done for building for HoloLens 1, HoloLens 2, or mixed reality devices. But in this case, what would the application add if I said add scene and configure? So it will add these two items, which is the Mixed Reality Toolkit and the Mixed Reality Play Space. Okay, so something interesting about the Mixed Reality Play Space is that you have the camera, but the camera is static. So you don't need to configure anything in your camera. It's already obtaining all the necessary information to run with the HoloLens 2. And then you have the Mixed Reality Toolkit with the, let me come here. This is the configuration. Let me put a little bit bigger. This is the configuration profile that you get by default, as you can see it. But something that we need to work in this demo is something that I mean, you are an audience that knows how the cognitive services work. I mean, you pay for what you consume, okay? So if you're constantly talking to our application, which is what we are going to be doing right now, if we are sending all the information that our application is hearing, the cost of having that application on, let's say, half an hour will be quite an amount of money. But if we can control what we send to the cloud to be analyzed, then we need to edit this configuration profile. Why? Because the HoloLens default configuration profile is here in the entire time, okay? But it's not using the speech cognitive services. It's using voice commands for the application itself. So it's hearing us, but it's not processing what we are talking. So what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to clone this. Once you clone it, you will get something like this. So you can provide a name, and then you can clone the different areas that you want to have control. So let's say if I want to have control over the camera, let's say I want to work on Android. Okay, so I have the possibility to clone this profile, select Android, and once I have Android, I can select the camera to use the Unity R camera settings. That it is if we are going to work with mobile. In this case, I'm not going to work with mobile. I'm going to work with Universal Windows Platform. So I'm going to leave it that way. But the one that I'm going to edit is the input. Why? Because the input has the speech configuration, that is the one that I need to have control over, that I need to tell my application when to hear me and when to stop hearing me. So by default, this is set to auto start, okay? But if I clone it, I have the possibility to set it to manual, which is something that we will use right now, okay? So now that I have my configuration set, it's all set to manual, perfect. Then I will start working with Unity. So in here, I added a panel that contains a lot of elements. This is a canvas, and I have in here elements like, for example, a logo that I wanted to put, a button, and I have disabled some of them because I want to explain you each one, one by one, what I'm going to be adding to the scene. Then I have the panel in which I will show the result of the processing that I'm going to do in the cloud, and I'm going to set a connection light that is going to be green if everything is okay to connect to Azure, and red if we have a problem, a connection problem. Okay. Okay. So how do I do this? If you see on the button speak in here, I do not have much code to assign to the bottom. I only have the speech recognition mode, and I have the state of the button, and that's it. And let's go to the translation panel, which is a panel that it's only a mesh renderer with an image of the background. So where the magic happens? Where does the magic happen here? It happens in the father, the canvas that is the father of all these other controls that we have on the scene. So I'm going to be working with the panel. And before getting into these ones, I want just to get you guys in here. So this is a script I have. So this controller is waiting for a couple of values that I'm going to be sending to the script from the UI. One of these is a service app key. The other one is the region from our service. The other one is the terminal, which is the canvas, which is going to tell which one are the sons of all the canvas, the parent, of course. The connection light, the output text, where I'm going to be displaying the results. And then I said, okay, I'm going to be using 3 buttons. One will be, and let's just focus on the first one, which is speak. This is the first one, okay? So let's go to the code behind. 1 second, button controller. Lunar COM controller. That's the one we need to open. So Lunar COM controller. So I'm going to open the project. Okay, so guys, it is important to understand how this, I don't know if anyone's in the audience used to work with Flash, Macromedia Flash. I am quite old, guys. But in Macromedia Flash, hi, Sammy, you just got it when I said I'm old.
Well, you were asking for the audience for people who worked with Flash, so shaking my hands, I did.
Yay. Okay. Yeah, so Unity works similar to what Flash used to be. In Flash, we used to draw the scene in our UI, and then we used to have an action script. It was as a code behind, right? So in here is mostly the same, of course, in C#. So we have our UI that has all these controls, and we are assigning the different controls to our backend. Okay, so to our code behind, sorry. And in here, we are getting that information. So we are getting the, which one? I opened the wrong one. So this is the one. Yeah. So I'm getting the speech service key, which as you saw, I just assign it on the UI, the region, and the terminal, the connection light, the output text. And that's the way I'm going to be working with everything from the C# code, okay? So the other thing I have in here, I said an enumerator with translation languages, which are the ones I'm going to be working in the translation demo. And then I'm going to do all the magic to connect to the cloud in here. but I'm only connecting and grabbing all the information, okay? So where actually do I process the information? So I process the information in another script, which is the speech recognizer. So let's go here and let's open the LunarCom speech recognizer. So let me search for the one that, so this is the one that makes all the magic. And is there something different from what we are used to grab? You can grab this code and put it in a console and it will work. Because we are only sending the service key, we are sending the configuration, we are sending the language, we are talking to our application, and we are going to be assigned to those controls that I'm managing from the UI. And that's it. That's the only thing you need to configure in order to consume the speech cognitive services. So if I go here, this would be already listening to us. It takes a little bit, like Macromedia Flash. It used to take a little bit to run, but hey. Okay, it's taking its time. Let's pray not to have a problem today with this. So earlier, okay, guys, probably I will need to restart the Unity. 1 second, let's see what's happening here. This is live, guys. This happens when you're live. Okay, probably I will need to reset this. No. Okay, there we are. It's taking its time. It is not that heavy. Usually it doesn't take that much time to open up. Okay, let me, guys. What should I do? Should I put it, close it, or not? You can see my CPU using here, it's red.
I would give it some time.
Yes, Sammy. This happens. I wanted to give it away. Okay, let's shut it up.
That's live demo.
Yeah, but I will save it anyway, so we can open up. While it opens up, I will explain something. 1 second. So why did I change to Visual Studio Code from Visual Studio? Because in here, I could create a script, activating station, ask the Unity debugger to run it here. Okay, there we go. It's opening up. And that will create, okay, the JSON file for the project to run Unity. So in here you have the debugger and you can start debugging your code in here in case you are working a lot with C#. It's loading, guys. Don't know why it's happening this, but this happens. So we can still see the code in here. So that's what I did in order to connect to the speech recognizer, okay? But you could also, if you are connected already to the speech cognitive services, you could also translate and you could also be working with different services, okay? So I will start also talking about the translation. So I assigned this other script to the panel that we have, to the father. Okay, there you go. What is happening? Could not enable a connection with Unity packages local. Okay, let's try to diagnose while I'm speaking this. Okay, so you could still connect to the translation. Do you remember that in the LunarCom controller, I had settled in here a couple of languages that I will be working these, guys. 1 second. So that I could translate to. So I said I'm going to be able to translate to Russian, to German, to Chinese, everything that I'm speaking to my app. So my app is already listening to me. That's important to, okay, she's listening to me. Now she's processing what I'm speaking to the language, which is English, that I'm going to be speaking with the, what is happening? Okay, so she's going to be listening to me, and the other thing that I can do is I could request the cloud to translate what I'm speaking to the application. So what I will do is I will speak in a language, which is English in this case, and I could set the translation language to each one of these ones, okay? I could add another, let's say I could add Spanish in here, and I could go to the configuration in the translation,
Ivana,
in the translation, yes.
I think you're, because of using so much processors, oh, yeah, now it's better, but we couldn't read anything and that was on your screen.
Oh, gosh.
It's better
Really?
now. Yeah, now it's stable again.
Okay, so in here you would have you could use the English or the Spanish, and in here, as you can see, you are setting the from language from English, okay? Let's try to open the application one more time, guys. And then we have in here the different translation that we want to, oh my gosh, what's happening today? So we want to work with different responses. So in this case, it's going to translate to Russian, to Dutch, to Chinese, but we could add in here the Spanish option and it will translate it. So let me try to close Visual Studio Code. So to see if that one is helping up with this demo. Okay, so in the meanwhile, so I don't want to lose you guys while I'm trying to fix this up. So I will be showing today, right now, a video that will explain exactly what's the benefit of using speech into the application, into the mixed reality application. And that's pretty interesting because right now we are facing through an interesting situation in the world, which is COVID-19, and we don't have the possibility to travel. I was speaking with Sam that we would have the opportunity to meet each other in the MVP Summit next year, but unfortunately we can't. So one of the possibilities is to move from one country to another in a hologram. So in this example that you will see here, we have Julia White, which is one of the Microsoft employees, and she shows exactly how this scenario can be done.
Now, it's a pleasure to be here in Las Vegas to present to you. It isn't always easy for me to travel across the world. And even when I do, I can't always speak the local language. Well, what if neither language nor distance mattered for me to deliver a fantastic keynote? What if technology could help me be anywhere I needed to be and speak any language I wanted? Well, it can. We are bringing together the power of mixed reality and Azure AI services to create a truly game-changing experience. First, let me introduce you to Mini-Me. There she is, my perfect holograph. And thanks to the power of Hololens 2, floats right with me. I'm literally holding my hologram, so natural. Now she's a little small to do a keynote, so let's get her up so she can do full-size Japanese keynote. Render keynote. To do this, we use mixed reality technology to create my hologram and render it here live. Then we use Azure speech-to-text capability and English transcription to get my speech. Then use Azure Translate to get the speech into Japanese. And finally, applied neural text-to-speech technology so it sounded exactly like me, just speaking Japanese. And the most amazing part? All of these technologies exist today.
Okay, great. So I think that we have, no guys, we don't have it. Okay, I'm having problems running my dear Unity, guys. And there is no other way I could. This is weird. Okay, so I don't want you guys to lose focus on what I'm trying. So we are going to try something else. I'm going to open it and at least show you the code. So as part of the demo, for you guys to understand what is happening in here, As part of the demo, we are what the application does, it does connect to the Azure Cognitive Services speech. So everything that I'm going to be speaking to the application is going to be understood by the cloud. And then, of course, we also have the possibility to translate it to the language that, as I just showed you. Okay. And finally, I had the possibility to use Lewis to manage the language understanding. So what I did with Lewis was the following. I had in here simply one application that has one intent, which is the press button. Yes, that one. So basically, it's going to be returning one of the entities that we have in here. So we have the action entity and the target entity. And we have I have trained in here. So like I said, you can reset this. What this will do will help our application understand what I'm speaking to that without exactly saying the words that the application is expecting. So we don't know what words the users are going to be talking into our application in order to for it to execute something. So as you can see in here, I said you can reset, you can start Explorer, close the hint, show me the hint, close Explorer, start Explorer, press Explorer. So I trained it. And then the other thing I did was to come here to my Azure resource and copied my endpoint and process it everything from code behind. Okay. One last time, guys, because I don't want to leave you guys without anything. So I managed to manage this from code behind. So what I did in here, I created the complete button press that will go to the cloud and will bring the information I need and recognize the command I want to invoke. The other thing that happens in here is this. Check this out. So if I detect the press button, I'm going to identify if I have an action or a target, which are the entities I did have in our cloud. I did have this on Lewis configured. And I said, okay, if you have the key target and if you have the action, put it as a key. And then I process the result. So once I set the target, what happens if I click on if I set the Explorer, if I set the reset, if I set the hints or hints, then I complete the button press and execute the press from code behind. So I forced the button press from code behind. And what this will do is, instead of having your UI, for example, in the demo, unfortunately, I think I won't be able to show it to you. Oh, it says it's already open. Oh, guys, it worked. Finally, I don't know what I did. But okay, let's try to see that we can run this. You can see my happiness in my face, right? Nothing will stop us. Okay, so we have everything here. Let me check that this one is okay. Yes, that's the one. Okay, so this, I want to show, let's cross fingers crossed, that the speech does work and does the processing. Unity, I love you, Unity. Yes. Okay, so this is what we have. This is the demo. Right now, as I said, I don't have a HoloLens, okay? But I do have the interactions provided by the Mertica. If I press the space button, I have a hand and I have the gestures. So I could interact with the interface and move myself through the scene, okay? And if I click on the speak, you will see that the application will start hearing me. Right now, she's not listening to me. But right now, the application will start hearing me. Perfect. Okay, so we managed to provide the speech part from this. Then we have the buttons translate. I'm trying to speak fast because I don't want Sam to get mad at me. Okay, so then we have the button translate. So what this will do, as we saw in code behind, it will go to the cloud and we are going to assign which one is the language that we want the translation to be done to. So what we have in here is those options will appear in here. So that enumerated we created is the one that is appearing in here. And I didn't say when I added Spanish, but I could do it. I don't want to do it because I'm scared that this will stop working. My computer is getting a lot of a lot of noise everywhere. Okay, so in this case, let's say I want what I'm speaking to be translated, let's put something better, to German. And so this will go to the cloud, translate it to German, and will return the results. So I will come here. Let's go there. Yeah. So everything that I'm speaking will be translated to, I think it was, I don't remember. Okay, we had the translation in there. Perfect. And the last thing that we have was Luis. Okay, so we showed what was being done for code behind. So I already had the possibility to go to Luis. In here, I have the endpoint I showed you in the browser from the Luis.ai website. And then I have a scenario, which is this one. Let me enable it so you can see it. This is my scenario. What I have in here is a machine, and I have 3 buttons, as you can see in here, okay? Let's put this on top so you can see it. Perfect. So you have these 3 buttons, but I need my gesture to press it, okay? This is interesting. So when would I use this? So let's say you have your hand busy and you are using the Packard example in which you are learning something with the mixed reality. You just need to talk to the application. So if you are an employee that manages heavy machines or anything that's pretty risky for you to take your hand away, you don't need your hand to do the gesture. You can only speak to the applications, and that's the benefit of it. So I also created this panel that will show us what we get from result from Luis, and this button that will represent what we are going to be speaking to it. Okay, so let's run it. Awesome. Yes, perfect. Okay, so in here, as you can see, I have the model in there. I will try to play around a little bit. Okay, I'm pressing it. Okay, I'm moving this guy. So do you remember that I have, let's go to the website, 1 second. There we have. Which one were the actions that we were detecting in here with the press button? Let's say we had you can reset. That one, you can start Explorer, close the hint, for example. Okay, let's do the you can reset. So I have everything messed. My tutorial is an entire the situation that I need to control. So you can reset. Perfect. So everything's down there, exact place where it's supposed to be. Okay. So the hint for you to know is that yellow thing that it's appearing, or where you need to put this one into this machine. So if I put, this is telling me, okay, this much part of the machine goes in here. That's a hint. So right now I don't need a hint. I don't want a hint. So you can close the hint. You can close the hint. It's taking its time. It's not working. You can close the hint. Okay, it's not going to the cloud. It says an item with the same key has already been added. Okay, don't know what's happening, guys, but okay. So the idea, I think you guys got it. Basically, if I got the result from press the hint button, and I will try to move the scene for you to see what would happen. It's not that fancy, but so. Okay, so we have in here different buttons. One is I'm getting closer, the hint. So if I press it, you see that you don't have the hint. So let's do the same that we did earlier, which is moving our manage. This is a reset button, this one. Okay, that's the one that we pressed with only speaking to the application, okay? So that's how you implement Luis on your application. And before getting into my slide, I wanted to show you guys, but since I closed Unity, I didn't have the chance to use it to open it. Okay, perfect. So one of the things that we were trying to do with Bruno was we have We have the Docker image of the custom vision model that Bruno created to detect the flag. So I think that you guys are going to be getting into the other session for me to show you, because I don't want to run Docker in here. But the idea of, I want to at least show you a little bit of the code on how we managed to get the custom vision running on our application. Hopefully it will run. Yes, at least. So there we are. So you're seeing part of what I'm going to be showing today. So yes, that's a mate. That's this, guys. I'm really fan of the mate. So I said, what could appear if I show an Argentinian flag? A mate. Sorry if there is anyone from Uruguay in there, but I think that mate is from Argentina. Okay, so guys, what I have in here is an image parent that has an image that will represent my camera. So it will load my Azure Kinect camera in here. The other thing that I have is a button that, as you can see, is taking a picture. So I will take the picture with the Azure Kinect, and I will set the picture to my application, to my code behind. Let's see this one. I don't want to open it in anything else. So I have in here my customer service URL, which is a local URL. As you can see, it's a local host. And what I'm going to be doing in here is I'm going to do the process of, let's see from here on. So I'm going to process the request, and I'm going to get the result, and I'm going to get the script and understand if we have the tag name Argentina on it. If we do have it, then what will happen once we get the picture, send it to the cloud while I'm streaming my camera, it will locate the camera, locate the flag from the picture and position this mate with logo of 3XM on top of the flag. So this is what we are planning on doing today. So Bruno has something with the Canadian flag in there that he's also planning on showing. So if you want to see more about how we managed to run this, as you can see, I don't have the mixed reality in here, because this example that I didn't run with mixed reality, but I also managed to do it with MRTK. So that will happen today also. Okay, guys, so before finishing up, let me go here. Coming with the Julia example. The speech example, exactly. So she explained that during that keynote, that she mentioned that her hologram was rendered in real time speaking Japanese with her own voice. So how did they build it? They used mixed reality technology to create the hologram and render it. You could see the use of voice command when she said start rendering to launch the hologram that she, about herself, sorry. They used Azure speech to text capability in English, like we did, transcript to get her speech, then use Translate to get her speech into Japanese, like we did. And finally, they applied neural text-to-speech technology, so it sounded exactly like her. So you can now understand the power of all the things that you're seeing in there, okay? But, okay, something that's interesting. They always say, but at hologram, I don't know how to work on hologram. So I have a mate in there, which is a 3D object. So I just downloaded from a website online, and I managed to put a little bit of code. But if you want to create a hologram of a person, you have the possibility to have a device like the one I'm streaming, which is the Azure Kinect, which gives me the depth of each one of the pixels that is displaying on the screen. And I would, if I had 3 of them, I would have the possibility to create exactly a hologram of myself. And also working with the speech translation and everything like Julia did. So that will happen if you have the Azure Kinect. As I mentioned, I only have one. So this would be the result if you try to get your hologram with only one device. I still don't have half of my body, but it works. At least it works. Great. So I'm running out of time. I had a video, but actually I prefer to leave you guys with this phrase from Alex Kipman. So he said, cloud-assisted assisted AI for understanding physical objects is happening today. Combining this with mixed reality will enable us to deliver persistent mixed reality experiences with people, places, and things. And as Sami said, there wouldn't be an improvement in mixed reality if we couldn't get it together with artificial intelligence. So that's it from my end. I don't know, Sami, if you're there. I don't hear you, Sami.
Sorry, my mic was still off. Thank you very much for this session. For me, it was an eye-opener. I've never really worked with mixed reality, so it's quite interesting. First of all, the people who are watching, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask the question on YouTube Live, in the chat, or on Twitch, or on Facebook, wherever you are watching live right now. Just use the comment or the chat function. But I have a question for you, Ivana. I am new. How do I start with mixed reality?
There is the mixed reality. Actually, if you search HoloLens 2, Microsoft Docs, that's the place where everything happens and it's explained. There are a couple of things that are not updated, so I still have pending on helping update that documentation. But that's the place I learned how the mixed reality toolkit works. But Unity was a different situation. Learning Unity, it was like learning Flash again. So there are a lot of tutorials on the Unity website that helps you build games from scratch. And it's pretty interesting because I still have this idea on my head of studying. So there is something called Azure Spatial Anchors that you can place a hologram on different areas on the space, like on your street. And if anyone has the application, it can also search for that hologram. And I have this idea of putting different holograms all over the city in Cordoba, except I'm close in my house right now. But I think it would be interesting if I send that application to a friend and he could see a giant arrow pointing to my house from the other side of the city and say, okay, that's the house of Ivana. Something cool like that. I don't know if you saw Artificial AI, the movie, with the little doll, the guy, there is a scene in which they have different holograms all over a city, and that's how I picture the future with mixed reality. So I went away. So your question was where to start.
Where to start, exactly.
Mixed reality, HoloLens 2, Microsoft Doc, and Unity website.
Okay, and what do I need to buy to get started? Do I need to have specific devices before I can even start?
Not at all. So as you saw, I just have the emulator running on Unity, and you could put to use the webcam instead of the HoloLens. Of course, if you had a Kinect, since the sensor is the same that the one in HoloLens, the idea, I still didn't have the opportunity to go to do that, but it's the same interaction. And you also, as I mentioned, can port it to iOS and Android, which is the easiest way to test.
Okay, cool. A lot of new stuff to start learning. So with it, Ivana, we don't have any questions from the public. I want to thank you for your time. We hope to have you another time soon again. But don't worry about learning more about AI, because next week, of course, we have another speaker. We will have Ali Mustafa, and he will talking about tackling bias and machine learning using crowdsources. But today we have a special edition also of the AI talks, and we will have a specific content-based talk purely about reinforcement learning, where Alan Smith will tell you all about the theory of reinforcement learning, and Eve Pardy will talk about some practical use cases. So this is at 8 p.m. tonight, Central European time. So if you want to join, just log in to globalai.community/AI talks, and there you will find the correct link to the stream, of course. So, Ivana, thank you very much for joining, and we wish you all a great evening, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, my name's Malik, and I'm
Fixing Summit in Belgium.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith.
Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Prasant from California.
大家好，我是卢建辉，英文版内容。
Ivana Tilca from Australia.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Marsman from the United States.
Hi, I'm Ivana Tilca from India.
Hi, I'm Matthew Renton from the USA.
I'm Joe Spizak from California.
Hi, Midi Edi Daoud, Miss Africana.
Hi, I'm Ana Havana.
Merhaba, ben Türkiye'den Daronya'dan.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,